Okay, here's another defect that I kind of found. Around this cover right here, there are screws, and I was able to remove every screw but one. And I even used the Dremel to slot this one screw to where I can use a flathead to try to get it off, and I'm still unsuccessful. It's like it's glued in or something. There was another screw on the other side in the same exact spot that I couldn't unscrew. I just had to give it a love tap with the hammer, and that finally unseized it to where I can open it. But this one, there's nothing. I tried everything to get this one off, and I can't get this off. Now, I was trying to take this disc brake off to show you that, you know, how warped the disc brake is, and these two bolts right here, they're stripped. I mean, I put the Allen in, and I can't do anything with it. They're stripped. I can't do anything with it. So there's a lot of things that even if I wanted to fix certain aspects of this motor, I just can't. I mean, so I gotta figure out a way to get this off, you know, otherwise I can't show how warped the disc is. But it goes to show there's something else wrong with this motor, that if I could take this off, I could just buy a new rotor and put it on here and fix it. And like I said, I know that there's a risk in buying this stuff and everything, but it's like everything that I have to do I have to basically almost rebuild the whole motor, from replacing these wires and the axle, grounding this out to where it's not so sharp, to where if I did put new wires in, they're not going to get cut. I got to resolder all the wires and fish them back through. I'm not even sure that their little fix for this, these two little things, if they even work, if they're even functional, if they're part of the windings. I've just never seen one on a motor, and like I said, it just always seems like a repair. Okay, here's another defect that I just didn't quite understand, other than it being a repair from the factory. This is the stator that goes inside the motor. Electricity flows through this in an orchestrated fashion, where it causes the outer part to rotate while this remains stationary. Now, when I first got this, one of the first things that I noticed when I opened it up was this. It seems to be a part of the motor winding, and it was folded over like so, where it blends in to where like you wouldn't notice it if you didn't if you had an untrained eye. There's another one on the other side. The thing that I noticed was, like, why is this one shrink wrapped and this is not? And this was folded over in the same exact fashion. The only thing that should be tied together or done in this fashion is where the motor windings come to a central point and they all tie together, which is right here, and it's tied down. Okay, here's something else. This is the wire sheathing that comes out of the motor, and it would go, let's see, it'll kind of go right there as I have it pictured. The white stuff that's on this cable is the styrofoam from the box. The styrofoam, like the way the motor was laying in the box, the styrofoam was rubbing against this. It was actually, crushed pretty thin. I'll get a better picture when I make the video, and you'll see the side profile and how it's crushed, and then you You can also see that there's some markings to where it was kind of damaged during shipping. It didn't affect the wires too much, but if you look at my disc brake is totally warped. This is the styrofoam that the motor came in. This is the disc brake side. Here's the motor casing, and so this proves where the wiring was exiting out of the axle, and there's two little indents right there where it was exiting, and you can see where the styrofoam and everything was rubbing on it, and like I said, it fits there perfectly. And if I put the motor on top, that's a lot of weight, pressing down on those wires, and it's an extreme angle to where the wires are bent. So when I go back to show you the sharp edge that's on this, when the wires are coming out and bent at an angle, and with these sharp edges right here, it nicked one of the wires, and it eventually would have nicked the rest of them. Like I said, this one was the yellow one was grounding out to the axle. The wire was exposed to where it was cutting on this, and so if I would have fired this motor up the first time, it probably wouldn't have ran, and it might have blown the hall sensors. The hall sensors are right here. It tells you the position of the motor. It tells the controller position of the motor, and if that's grounding out to the frame, the motor probably wouldn't work. It would just shudder back and forth and not go. So out the box before I opened everything up and checked everything, there was defects that would have prevented me from using this. Alright, back over here to the motor. This is how it sits in the box, and the box doesn't cradle it as you think. It still has a little rock on it, so it does create a pressure point on those wires. So this box, the styrofoam form and the box and everything pretty much sucks as far as protecting the motor and protecting the wires. You see down there, and you see how this laying on top of that, and repeatedly beating on shipping and everything can cause damage to those wires. Alright, this is the shipping packaging as it came out the box. This is the disc brake side. You can see the outline of the disc brake and the styrofoam, and those two indentures there, that's where the cable laid under the disc brake, and that's how it was getting pinched. And so this disc brake has a sharp edge that was slowly cutting into the sheathing on the wire. And this is just, overall the styrofoam, it looks like it's okay to ship, but it was just very bad packaging when they packaged the motor. There you notice there's a crack or deformation in the styrofoam right along this ridge here. So it obviously gave way at some point in time. Here's the other side of the motor. The styrofoam casing, basically showing the crack in the box. The box overall, it looked very good. I would probably give it an 8.5, 8 or 8.5 as far as the shipping condition of the box. So I didn't think anything of it to reject the shipment for damaged goods. But when it's in a cardboard box and you can't see what's inside, then you just basically have to open it and see what you find inside. Okay, this is the box as I received it. Obviously, it's open or whatever, but the box still looks pretty much intact. The only thing that I did notice was there was this little kind of dent right here. There's this corner right here that was kind of dented in, but I know the motors are packed in styrofoam, so that, you know, this corner, it really shouldn't have affected, you know, anything with the motor in general. So I didn't see any reason to reject it. The one thing I did see was this right here, where the box is actually punctured, but this puncture is nowhere near any major component of what's inside the box. There's a little deviation right there, but nothing. It doesn't pierce the box. Overall, everything looks okay. Okay, like I said, this is the styrofoam again, and I showed you the dent that's on the box. And so here's the dent that's in the styrofoam. See that it's not hurting anything. It's just slightly deformed. Nothing was in that slot right there, and it will fit in the box like so. So there's the corner that's dented. And there you go. Here's another thing I'm gonna try to demonstrate how I keep on saying this wire channel right here is very sharp. I'm gonna just take a piece of paper and run it down one of the edges. Okay. And I'm not sure if you can see the little notches on the paper, but I've ran this down the channel several times, and it's not simply deformed. It's very sharp. So I was able to cut paper, you know, so it'll cut one of these thin wires, or at least strip the jacket off of it. And I'm gonna show another reason why this wire channel damaged the wires coming out of the motor.